Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to another Aethir AMA. I'm Jay, your head of AMA at Aethir, and today we have an exciting AMA lined up with GG3. So let's dive straight into it. Our episode today will be titled AI-powered Web3 Gamified Edutainment with Aethir's GPU Cloud, with Aethir's GPU Cloud rocking in the background with 430,000 GPUs. We will be joined by GG3 with their 83,000 users questing into Web3. So as we get into it, I will invite Erin to the stage for a quick little intro. Erin's my enterprise team.
Hello, everyone. I'm Erin McMahon, head of enterprise AI marketing at Aethir. Initially spent my career working at bigger high-growth tech companies, working in the B2B space, and now working with startups in AI and Web3, and very excited to spread the word about Aethir and all we're doing at the intersection of AI and Web3. So thrilled to be here and talk about GG3.
Nice, very excited to have you on, Erin. And we will have Aethir coming up, who is the CEO of GG3. But no introductions coming from me, which nice to introduce yourself, Aethir.
Hello everyone, my name is Arthur. As you heard, I'm CEO of GG3. So shortly about me, I think that some of you might remember me from our Aethir partnership with a project that we created called GamerHash AI. If you remember over there, we are having 800,000 retailable GPU cards, and together with Aethir enterprise level, we were creating some interesting steps into the topic on inference. But today the main focus is GG3, so the project that we were working recently for the last 2 years. And over here, this project is really about creating intelligent engagement layer. So we are creating, together with our DNA, which is in gaming, so everything which is connected with digital groups and autonomies, and then AI agents. So we are creating a layer in which we can manage digital communities. And all of that will be managed on the infrastructure of Aethir and GamerHash.
I was muted for a second. Definitely excited to see how Aethir's GPU Cloud is powering this entire seamless process. But Erin, would you like to kick us off with what exactly is running behind this tech, behind all the 83,000 of these users?
I'm sorry, for me?
Yeah. From your end, what is it about our tech that we have running behind all 83,000 of their users?
Yeah, so at Aethir, we're redefining GPU cloud access and the way that businesses can connect to AI infrastructure, and really doing that in a democratized, cost-efficient way. And this infrastructure supports next-gen experiences, especially like GG3. I'm personally excited about GG3 because I used to work at Twitter, and I'm all about engaging online communities and connecting that and leveraging it in the best way possible. So our goal is to make sure that businesses have the best experience and the best delivery possible, and ultimately end users have that experience too. And that's certainly why we're excited to power GG3. Oh, you're on mute, Jay.
Oh, that's actually pretty interesting. I did not know that little fact about you, but also I am very excited to see where exactly this partnership would be going with GG3. But Arthur, GG3 is blending education and entertainment in a pretty interesting way, I would say. How would you say you guys are bridging the Web3 and Web2 communities across the space?
Yeah, so this is a very good question, because this is really tackling our history and how we project. How we were creating the project for last 2 years. Initially, that was the platform for gamers, and we were really bridging Web2 gamers with Web3 products, and we were really focusing on providing education and really emphasizing what is the gap that we can provide to Web2 gamers to really provide them very easy user flows and with full security and transparency. So in the end, we can provide highly engaged users into Web3 space, right? But then the question is how to put on top of that the AI agents. So this is the core of our offering, and this is exactly part that will be using Aethir on the GPU level here, right? So when we had thousands of gamers, and we, at the time, let's say it was 50,000. Right now we are getting to almost 100,000, and that we will reach probably after the weekend. We have the huge user base data that we were able to learn upon. So then we added to that number of data sources, and here we can think about we have access to more than 100,000 Steam games. We have YouTube, we have Discord, everything which is happening online, like in YouTube. Then we can scrub the data. So in the end, together with our user data, we can provide AI agents that in the end, as Sarin mentioned about approaching B2C, that we can manage in a very engaged and also like in a viral way, digital communities. So for example, if Aethir would like to use our agent for managing their Telegram group, we can set it up based on the history of Aethir Telegram group, and then also discuss what are the most interesting the most interesting topics, scrub the data about these elements, and then to provide really interesting content. So this is like the next level of managing communities within the digital world.
I think it's pretty amazing to see AI agents such as the ones you're building over at GG3 coming into practical use cases and practical use situations, like you're saying, incorporating them into groups and other workflows. It's a pretty killer combination, and it makes Web3 a bit more fun and approachable, I would say.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll dive into a bit more about something I think that tries to happen. But now let's jump over to Erin. So what do we have over on our side, Erin, that really ties into GG3's platform?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
I was like, oh, what is the tech or on our end that helps us really tie into GG3's platform?
Yes, definitely. And apologies, I have a little bit of a cold, so the background is blurry. My cold is making my head a little blurry too. So I think the key thing what Artur just described is a very dynamic, changing environment with communities, inputs, different streams from location, and different connecting to different users, and providing different inputs and insights. And I think that demands different resources needed at various times. And at Aethir, what we're really providing is a globally distributed network. So all over the world, we can provide that infrastructure. We can provide whatever the latest technology is, whether it's B200s, H100s, et cetera, and prescribe that for the business's needs at the fastest availability with 24/7 support at the best prices. And so I think that what we provide as a service to GG3 is really whatever they need as they are scaling their business globally. So that is our goal, and what we want to do to help GG3 grow is as best we can.
Nice. Nice really insight on that, Erin. Then we want to jump straight back onto you, Artur. It's good to understand a bit of the tech that's running on in the background to make all these things work with the massive GPU cloud and everything. But what's the difference on GG3 from a user perspective that really makes it different from other projects in the AI agent space right now? Because there's been a lot of hype and a lot of buzz around the whole space, but what makes GG3 really different?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And I would say that probably the best to start with would be that like all of us have seen like the craze of AI agent early this year. That the project like CookieDAO, Virtuals, it was crazy. It was super nice. But in the end, these agents or most of these agents were basic solutions which were providing very basic service, and usually at the time it was also not with very high quality. Like that was the starting point. What we'll see right now is that for the first time, especially in Web3, the agents that we are working on in general as a sector will start to provide a value for which somebody will be able to pay for, right? Because for the first time, AI agents will be doing something that technology can do faster or better than human. And in our case, this is managing the digital community. And why we are different. So first of all, as I mentioned, if we would compare, let's say, us with the, let's say, early January Twitter bots, which were rather, basic posting with no engagement, there was no data showing really how the community is welcoming content which is visible over there. In our case, we exactly know what are the engagement metrics, what kind of the community is behind it. As I mentioned, just within our community, we have around 100,000 users, and all of these users are creating thousands of data moments, which we are feeding to the models that are being used. And then if you would focus just on LLM models, it's not just about having one model that you cannot you can just ask a question like ChatGPT. What is happening on our side is that we were having basic text-to-text models, text-to-image, text-to-video. All of these are connecting. One of the alpha that I can mention is that we are working on a model that will be able to scrap a video from YouTube. And for example, the one that we are discussing right now might be then summarized shortly after it's finished, right? And for example, then right away we can say, hey, there is new video from Aethir. Let's do something about that within our community, right? And Jay, you will be still doing post-production and putting this on Twitter, and the guys will already know what's happening, right? So we have chain of models that will create particular topics or I don't know, services or will be providing values for the particular communities that we discuss about. And all these things which I'm just discussing, they are already besides the scrapping and the videos, they are already available on our platform, gg3.org. So this is already something which is working. And then I will tackle to what Erin was also mentioning, why we are using also Aethir infra, because these kinds of models really require the very high latency. So this is something, that's why we are working with Aethir, because these elements needs to be very fast. Otherwise it will be not as easy in use as it should be, and there will be this diffraction in user experience. And that's why exactly we are part of the Aethir Catalyst program.
Nice. And on that about the Aethir Catalyst program, thank you so much for sharing a lot on that. It's quite interesting as we see more real world functionality coming out in this space, and especially with projects like GG3. I think it's quite impressive to see AI agents doing more than just pumping coins. So I think this is pretty
next big
exciting.
thing. My personal opinion is that we will see another AI agent craziness in crypto market, but it will be really about what kind of value the agents are providing. So it's going to be less hype just because it's agent, but really hype about what agent is doing, and that will be turning stone.
Nice. And leaning into that a bit more, and you did mention dropping a bit of alpha. Is there any more alpha that you really have for us on the GG3 side that you might want to drop in right now?
I have a lot, but
I would say take this.
The legal team who is watching that will react to that.
Fair enough.
Of course, we have a number of topics to give maybe to the Aethir community what's happening next. We will be having our token listed in next few weeks. So you can find us in different places. There is not any possibility right now to buy our token besides our airdrop page. So if somebody would like to join us and see also how the tools which I just mentioned are working, you can easily get to gg3.org. But then after listing, there will be a number of news, including what kind of distribution partners we have, what kind of solution we will be providing. In the end, gg3.org will be a SaaS type of company. So everybody who will want to use the toolkit of AI agents, which I just mentioned, will be able to do so. So this is something I think that was not visible yet on the market. At least I haven't seen something like that. So like I'm having goosebumps when I'm saying that. So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice, looking forward to it as well. And you mentioned about the Aethir Catalyst program. Erin, would you like to give those of us who might not know much about that a bit of context into what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. So Aethir's mission is to democratize access to the best and high-performing, GPU infrastructure, and the Catalyst program is really an extension of that and celebrating and lifting up companies that are really innovative and moving forward in the space. And obviously, GG3 is a great example of that. I loved Arthur's. I mean, there's so much good information there, but I love the mention of creating the users creating data moments and really leveraging that and amplifying that through the AI agent ecosystem, and what that will mean for all businesses and all future users. I think that's going to be so significant. So the Aethir Catalyst program, it's something you apply for, helping with your expansion and scalability of access to GPU credits, but then also for us to partner with companies like GG3 and really uplift and give them access to the communities that we're part of. So we make sure that that everybody in our communities knows about GG3, can spread the word, celebrate it, get excited about it, and help scale as much as possible. And I know our community is definitely going to be excited about it because of the awesome platform that's gaining momentum.
Yeah, to add to that, I'm super excited, and I have to say that it's really worth to mention that 1 week ago we didn't have a contract yet, and I was really surprised how Aethir team was working in a super fast pace. And we are here right now already, having joined the video and discussing how much great things we can do for both communities, and focusing on great technologies. So yeah, thank you guys for that, right? So like from my perspective, we really appreciate it, and I was surprised that we can push the things so fast. So, really
that's right. Joint mission. We're here to improve the ecosystem and the best experience for the communities and really move everything forward. So very excited.
That's what Web3 should be about.
That's
about
mm-hmm.
Yeah, precisely that. And here at Aethir, we're definitely all about trying to push the Web3 space forward in any way we possibly can. But, speaking of, what type of joint initiatives, and this one I'll say to both of you, so what type of joint initiatives can we maybe expect to see in the future between GG3 and Aethir?
Well, I mean, from my side, so I think we've just, as Arthur discussed, we've started, this journey that we're going on. But I think what we ultimately want to see is GG3 succeed and scale. So we want to make sure that happens. I think it would be cool to get more of a deep dive into the technology and how it's impacting communities via more, video demonstrations and things like that. And ultimately to report back to the community on the overall impact that our partnership is making. But also, Arthur, we'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, fully agree with that, and I think that from my side, I see our partnerships with Aethir evolving in several exciting directions that will fundamentally transform how digital communities interact with Web3, but also Web2 ecosystems in the end. So as already mentioned, we've developed specialized AI agents that learn the unique culture, technology, and preferences of specific communities. And I think that using the infra right now also will allow us, the infra from Aethir will allow us to work faster and better, and actually we will get to we will come to the ideas that we haven't seen yet, right? So I think that also besides that, our platform requires sophisticated tracking and verification system that rely heavily on distributed computing capabilities to maintain performance across different digital environments. So this computational demand for these personalized AI models, these are substantial, and making cloud infrastructure essential to their deployment. So I think that at some point we will move from basic partnership. I think it will be much more strategic level. And of course, there are some smaller initiatives, because even right now, also we have some ideas to what to do with our token after it will be released, maybe to do something cross-community. So there is a number of initiatives which is still being discussed. In which direction it will go, we don't know yet, but definitely, at least from my side, and I think also from Erin and the whole team, it should be something that will really be like super interesting and will bring the value for both communities. So definitely, I will see that this on technical level, marketing level, but also on the engagement and building education and interest about the solution that we are working. Because like to be 100% fair, the things that we are discussing are not easy. So also there is a huge gap that I think that we'll be happy to cover with the videos and content that we can provide together.
Definitely, I agree with that. And as Arthur mentioned, this is big for the Web2 space as well as the Web3 space. There's a huge need for up-leveling and providing insights and engagement with communities. So lots of work to do there.
Yeah, definitely do agree with that. And I think having community at the heart of everything that we're trying to build on both sides. I think something which I think our community would like to know as well as yours is, who really is standing behind GG3? Who's in your team? How long have you guys been at it? What makes your corporate and company culture GG3?
Yeah, definitely. So we are a bit unusual project because most of the people sit behind this wall. So even though we create the centralized solution, we are a team of people who know each other for years. And as I mentioned, initially we created GamerHash AI, one of the biggest steppings that based on the retail level GPUs, and this is our starting point. And then the GG3 is a spin-off that we created based on the idea that we saw that the market was missing, and it was something that GamerHash was not really connected with, right? So we are a team of around 30 people, mostly living in one city, mostly grabbing a coffee together each morning. And I know that in Web3, like this is super unusual. Everybody are like spread it, in Bali, Thailand, Bangkok, and over here we are based in Poland, in Europe. So I would say a team of friends working together for years right now. So kind of a classic Web2 approach and with the decentralized idea. And we are also super happy with that.
Nice. It's always good to have a bit of an understanding of what's going on in the back end behind each of these projects. I think on the opposite end is that we are as decentralized as we are cloud. I think Erin could agree on that one.
Well, yes, certainly. We are getting more virtual distributed coffees across the globe. So that is the Aethir standard. We meet up at events though, so we do have some IRL contact.
Yes, indeed. So we are one very big global family we have over here. But as we come up towards a close, do we have any? This has been a pretty good chat and diving into the initial stages of this partnership with GG3, which I'm sure is definitely going to expand as GG3 expands and as Aethir continues to expand. And as we come to a close, do you have any closing notes from both Arthur and Erin? Starting off with you, Arthur.
Sure, definitely. Like on our side, I think that like so much things are happening that I think that whoever will check our social media will have the goosebumps as I have. So it's quite easy right now to see how fast the things about our technology are growing. So definitely, I would like to invite everybody to gg3.org to see our community and our solution. If somebody would like to have an opportunity to have also our tokens as well. So there is a page gg3.org/airdrop. This is something that will happen for next few weeks. So without any payments, just through social engagement, people can get to the same boat as we are in. And yeah, in general, as a closing thoughts, I think that it's important to mention that combining our intelligent engagement layer with Aethir powerful distributed infrastructure, it will create like really experience that not just technologically impressive, but also genuinely valuable to users. That's why I mentioned before that this is something that nobody has seen before yet. And really what excites me the most is how we are using AI technology to make Web3 accessible to everyone and to enhance how digital communities can operate. So our AI-driven approach removes the complexity that has historically been a barrier to adoption, allowing user to discover blockchain benefits through familiar and enjoying experiences. Yes, so really thank you for having me today. I'm looking forward for a number of other formats that we are thinking about with Erin, and I think that also as I mentioned before, from my perspective, I would really like that this partnership and this collaboration with Aethir Catalyst would create something beneficial to our bot communities. So doing technical stuff is great, but our intention should be really to create a value that will put somebody's a smile on somebody's face.
I definitely do agree. At the end of the day, tech is fun, but at the end of the day, it's all about putting a smile on someone's face. And you, Erin, do you have any closing remarks for us as we close off here?
Yeah, absolutely. So just very excited to work with GG3. As I said, with the Catalyst program particularly, we want to show and highlight innovative technology in businesses, and that is certainly GG3. So as Arthur said, go to gg3.org. And then, of course, we're excited to power the infrastructure behind GG3 to make sure that businesses and users have the best experience through our distributed technology at the best prices. So if your business is interested in that, go to enterprise.aethir.com to learn more, sign up, ask questions, engage with our team. And yeah, I would say, and in addition, celebrating the technology is great, improving the end user experience is great, but I think also important to educate users about this awesome technology behind it. So, bridging the gap between showing users and helping they really, making sure they really appreciate it. So we're excited to do that with Arthur and his team too.
Nice, and hopefully Arthur, we meet again here for another AMA with a bit of a practical demo for us to show the community what you guys are cooking up.
With great pleasure. Looking forward. Many thanks for having me.
Okay, well, thank you guys for both joining and to the Aethir community and the GG3 community. Until the next one, guys. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Okay.